Hello there, how's it going? My name is Junaid, and in this video, we will talk about chapter 8 of the book Atomic Habits. So, we are beginning the section Make It Attractive. We are done with the section Make It Obvious. Let's begin chapter 8, How to Make a Habit Irresistible. And he begins the lesson, the chapter, with the idea of supernormal stimulus and the importance of attractiveness. So, let's begin from there. A supernormal stimulus is a heightened version of reality. Humans are prone to fall for exaggerated versions of reality. Junk food, for example, drives our reward systems into a frenzy. So, here he gives examples of junk food, and as we will read, you will see more what junk food is and how it is so attractive for us. It was engineered to be attractive. That's the idea. Today we live in a calorie rich environment. Food is abundant, but your brain continues to crave it like it is scarce. Placing a high value on salt, sugar, and fat is no longer advantageous to our health, but the craving persists because the brain's reward centers have not changed for approximately 50,000 years. The modern food industry relies on stretching our Paleolithic instincts beyond their evolutionary purpose. So that's the idea. Our brain actually places high value on things like salt, sugar, and fat, but in modern times, food is abundant and it's cheap. However, our brain continues to crave it like it's scarce, and junk food actually exploits this craving, and they put more and more fat, sugar, salt, and things that are harmful if eaten in excess. Primary goal of food science is to create products that are more attractive to consumers. Nearly every food in a bag, box, or jar has been enhanced in some way, if only with additional flavoring. Companies spend millions of dollars to discover the most satisfying level of crunch in a potato chip or the perfect amount of fizz in a soda. So the modern food industry, they only focus on one and one thing alone, which is how to make their product more attractive. That's their entire goal, nothing else. They don't care about our health. For example, soda, they just want to make it as addictive as possible, or potato chip, they want to make it them as addictive as possible. They don't care about our health. And that's modern food science in a nutshell. Ultimately, such strategies enable food scientists to find the bliss point for each product, the precise combination of salt, sugar, and fat that excites your brain and keeps you coming back for more. The result is that you overeat because hyperpalatable foods are more attractive to the human brain. So that's the idea of hyperpalatable foods. So these things, you crave them even if you are full. This is how powerful those things are. So for example, if you have already eaten, but someone offers you a slice of cake, it would be so hard to resist, right? Even though you are full, but it will be hard to say no to a piece of cake. And if you were not full, then it's almost impossible to ignore it, right? Let's say you were hungry and you see a slice of cake. These foods are highly attractive and addictive. I can Google hyperpalatable and show you what it looks like. So search Google hyperpalatable. So let's see some of the pictures. So these are hyperpalatable foods, and this is what they do to you. This is what they do to you. Some people say that they are choosing to eat it, but they are actually not. These are engineered to make you obese. So it's a very important idea to do not eat them. And as we learned, habits are double-edged sword. This is the negative side of the habit. You only need to do an action a certain number of times, and then it becomes easier. And junk food is addictive on its own. And when you create a habit of something that is addictive, that's just too powerful negative. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't eat junk food. It's already bad for health, and now you are making a habit of eating something that is bad for your health. Very bad idea. Very bad. Don't do it. Ultimately, such strategies enable food scientists to find the bliss point for each product, the precise combination of salt, sugar, and fat that excites your brain and keeps you coming back for more. The result is that you overeat because hyperpalatable foods are more attractive to the human brain. Okay, we talked about this. Let's continue. The modern food industry and the overeating habits is just one example of the second law of behavior change. Make it attractive. The more attractive an opportunity is, the more likely it is to become habit forming. Very good idea. He's talking about just the modern food industry, but you can take any modern industry like movies or video games. They also make it attractive, right? Movies are attractive. They spend millions and millions of dollars on movies, so they are fun to watch. The same with video games. And what all of these things do, they make our brain weak and make us lazy. But the only reason we actually perform these activities, movies, video games, and eating junk food, is because they look attractive. If you could make your work attractive or the positive habits that you want to perform attractive, then you can reap the benefits of the same idea. You don't need to, as he said in the last chapter, you don't need to be the product of the environment, you can also be the architect of it. So that's the idea. You don't need to use the products that were designed attractive for you. You can make your everyday life more attractive than it is. If history serves us If history serves as a guide, the opportunities of the future will be more attractive than those of today. The trend is for rewards to become more concentrated. Junk food is a more concentrated form of calories than natural foods. Video games are a more concentrated form of play than board games. Compared to compared to nature, these pleasure packed experiences are hard to resist. We have the brains of our ancestors, but temptations they never had to face. Exactly. Although one might read this paragraph and they might start blaming the modern times they live in, but I don't think that's a good perspective. You should take responsibility and you should start to limit your exposure, as we talked about in previous lessons, creating an environment. You can't live positively in a negative environment. That's the idea. You can't eat healthy food where junk food is abundant. You can't work where video games are accessible. So although these things are highly negative, but you can create an environment where your exposure of these things is less. If you want to increase the odds that a behavior will occur, then you need to make it attractive. While it is not possible to transform every habit into a supernormal stimulus, we can make any habit more enticing. So that's the idea. How can you make your work more enjoyable? The same way they have made junk food and video games more enjoyable. That's the idea of make it attractive. And it's not too complicated. We'll talk about it in temptation bundling. I think this is enough for this recording. And in the next one, we will finish the chapter. And I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.